Hey, it's a number one Ford fan here, and today I'm going to give you my 6 months review. Yes, it is a review, 6 months review of driving next generation Ford Ranger XLS. You might be interested in skipping forward. I'll put some chapters in here so you can find the part you want if you want to have a look. I'm going to tell you now why I decided to buy the XLS. There's a lot of reasons why, and I'm just going to explain that because it might help you understand why I've got the XLS and why I'm going to do a review on it. Everyone wants the Wildtrak or the Raptor. Number one, they take a fair while to get to you, ordered by the factory. Number two, they do cost a bit. So I had a look at the XLS, and there's a couple of reasons why I bought it. It's one, because there was one available. It's obviously a little bit less in price. I totally understand that Ford can't give you a Wildtrak for an XLS price. So there's things you get and things you don't. So I'm going to talk to you in this video about things that I wish were here, things that I really like about the XLS. So this one we have here is called the Blue Lightning, and it has a little bit of a metallic look in it. And I see Raptors in this color, I see Everest in this color, and it actually kind of made me feel like I've got a Sport, because it seems like a lot of the Sports come out in this color as well. Looking at the side of the XLS, now you don't get the color-coded guards, but I actually really like it. When I look at the side of the XLS, it's got really good lift. It looks cool, it looks high, it's got a good stance. Then you move along to the bar at the back, and this I feel like really lets the car down. And I actually would take this off because I'm not a tradie, and I would take this off if I could, but there may be white paint underneath, so then I'd have to get a replacement sports bar. And right now I'm not at the stage where I can start to put add-ons onto this car. With this XLS, I was lucky enough to get it with the Tech Pack. The Tech Pack gives you a sat-nav, dual climate zone, second row air vents, smart keyless entry with the push button, body colored door handles, and that's $700. So to me, the value of $700 is absolutely worth it for the things you get in the car, the dual climate control, the color-coded handles, and also the push button. I mean, that's worth $700, I think. It also came with the towing pack. The towing pack has the tow ball and the brake controller, and that costs you about $1,700 at the time of filming this. So moving along, you can see the running boards are aluminium with a coating on it. You've got the color-coded mirror here. You don't get 360 cameras on the XLS. And you can see that this is the bi-turbo version, so this is the 2-litre. Getting the 6-cylinder, hey, might be great, but for the extra 30 kilowatts for the rego and petrol, I'm just not interested. I'm not a tower, so I don't really need that V6, so this bi-turbo has done quite well for me. You could see that there's no tinting on the windows. It doesn't cost too much to actually add your own tinting. And I've been told that the privacy glass in the Rangers does come off a little bit green, so then you can really control the color of it if you get your own tinting. The whole back end, I'm going to tell you, is a home run. And the one thing that I really wish it had, but I understand that it doesn't at this price point, is to have a tub liner. Number one is you're always skitzing out about scratching it. Number two is things get caught down here all the time. So if you're a person that loves a clean car, you've got to always be pulling stuff out of there. So leaves and junk. Now this tailgate lift is awesome. You just lift it like this, it clicks in. It also locks with the central locking, so you know that you got something here, you know, people can't unlock the back. The huge Forge badge, I love what they've done with that. The bigger the better. I'm a Ford man, I love Ford, I love seeing it big. You can see the reverse camera here. It has a 180 field of view with alert, and that all comes from, you can see that it has the blind spot monitoring here on the light as well. So that I find that 180, when cars are whizzing by and you're reversing, that's a really good feature. Works really well if someone's walking. You can see it's got sensors here, and then the other ones come in the side of the lights. Now you don't miss out on anything on the back of the XLS. You've got the embossed Ranger, which lets you know you've got a next generation one. You've got the 4x4 here, because I've got the 4x4 option. And then you got the XLS. This is a bit of a letdown. This is just a little sticker. Looks kind of cheap. The one thing that people have talked about ad nauseum about them is the side step, and the side step is awesome. Now I've had a look underneath, and it's seriously engineered to take some weight. You know, I'm talking about 130 kilos. It's in, it's out. It is just brilliant. This is such a great way to get into it than trying to have the crawl up here. The other things that people rave on about is a little ruler here. And I'll tell you, it comes in handy. For one thing, if you're just going, oh, will this fit in the car? And you can just grab something and go, oh yeah, that's that long. You can use it just as a spot thing, like you go, oh, how long's my phone? You go, oh yeah, it's 18 centimeters. And the clamps do work, because I actually did clamp something down and do a cut off here. So having the 3 tie down points on the same side I found handy, because sometimes it just works nice. So you've got the 1, the 2, and the 3. Now the thing, you've also got the light, and that does work really well. That light is excellent. So you miss out on the 12 volt charger. I haven't taken this plate off to see if the actual cables were still there, and then you could probably hook up something yourself if you wanted to, but I haven't done that yet. Just going under the bonnet, it's of course the 2 litre. No gas hinges, but this is quite heavy, so they probably would have to engineer some gas struts that would be probably add to the cost. So we've still just got the manual hold up. The 2 litre bi-turbo, I get about 8.8 per 100 kilometers combined. It's listed at 7.6. I even got to the stage where I wanted to add a dual battery or put a snorkel in, but I know there's some options there, especially with ARB. But what you'll have to do is you have to cut off the wiper fluid to get the snorkel in. So that's one little difficulty, but I think ARB's got it already solved. If I was to put a lift on this car, I would probably get the Lovells one, which is rumored to be coming out fairly soon at the time of the filming of this video. I think it's going to give you around 50 centimeters lift on the front and back, which is going to really give it a high stance. You could really load this thing up with that. If you get the GVM or the GCM upgrade, that's coming, but that's just speculating because we don't really know when that's coming out. Now looking at the front, there's no front camera, but you still got the big Ford sign. You've got your radar and you've got your sensor here and your sensor here. No side sensor. So you've got it just across the front. It seems to, this one really, because it's on an angle, seems to really cover out here anyway. So that works quite well. They've gone and put a halogen light here and it just doesn't look very good. I'm going to cut to a picture of it because it's just a bit hard to see it in the daytime here. And also you miss out on that sexy C-clamp daytime running light, which is the signature of the next generation Ranger. And they just look awesome. I love it. And I just really wish they had managed to put it on here, but so be it. This is what we've got. Now I've been told to convert this to LED is probably not going to be legal because of the conversions and everything. I don't understand at the filming of this time, and you might be able to leave a comment and tell me whether you know of a way to convert these to LEDs without actually voiding the warranty or not being legal. That's just one of the letdowns of the front of the XLS. All right, so we're inside. Now, some of the things that are different between the other Rangers and this one is the steering wheel is all rubber. Doesn't bother me. I don't need a leather steering wheel. This is just fine. It still has this periscope and the tilt, just like the other Ranger models. You can see it's got all your adaptive cruise control controls here, your screen controls here. Now you do get the 8-inch cluster instead of the 12 comes in the Raptor. And the sides of the cluster are actually just analog, but they look digital. So it's kind of got a cool 80s look. Across the dash, you've got this dimpled golf ball sort of look here, and then some hard plastic here. You can see that we've got the brake controller here for the brakes for the towing. I haven't done any towing with it. It's just been a bonus getting this one that has the towing pack in it. But I know this brake controller here, you can set it to dampen or strengthen the brakes if you want to, as far as your trailer goes, and you can actually squeeze to control your brakes as well. So it's a really handy feature, having that built in instead of having to put like a red arc on it or something in it. Moving down to the center console, this is where you miss out on having the E-shifter. And I'll be really honest, I struggled with the E-shifter. It's just for some reason, it's really cool looking and it looks awesome, but I prefer a manual gear shifter and not like the fly-by-wire ones. So to me, that's not a miss out. Also, you can see that there's a manual handbrake here and not the digital handbrake, which means with your adaptive cruise control that the car won't go to a complete stop because it doesn't have the digital handbrake to stop you. When you get close with your adaptive cruise, it'll stop and you have to actually bring the car to a stop with your own foot brake. Now you can see that I've got the 4x4 model. We've got 4 high, 4 low, and 2 high. And the drive modes that are in the car are normal, eco, tow and haul, and slippery. I've only used normal and eco so far. When you get to the center console also as well, there is Apple Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto Wireless, but you also got a USB-C and a USB-A here, but there's no wireless charger in the console as well. You can see part of the actual tech pack that I've got, there's dual climate control in the car, but you would normally just get single climate here. Also, and then if you move back, you get these vents added in the tech pack as well. One thing I want to point out is this has the 10-inch digital display and not the 12. This digital display is absolutely brilliant. It looks good, it's bright. I have it set on dark mode because I think dark mode looks the best. The only real problem with it is because the Ranger is a bit of a bouncy drive, it's really hard to use the controls. So lucky that they've put controls here, because doing the heater, it's just not easy when you're driving. Like I'm doing 40, but when you're on a bouncy road, it's hard to actually control these buttons. So it's really good that they've actually added these ones here as well. So you've got a 6-speaker sound system. You've got 2 tweeters up the top here. Then you've got 4 speakers in the doors. Sound system is adequate. It doesn't have that bass subwoofer that some of the models have in the back, but it's good enough. It works really well. Now driving the 2-litre bi-turbo, to me, it has a point when you're accelerating where it gets a bit screamy and doesn't do much, but all in all has good pickup. The bi-turbo is good enough for me. I enjoy driving it. So you've got to make that decision yourself whether you really want the V6 or you can get by with the bi-turbo, because it's nice to have the big engine, but this one does what you need. It still can tow 3,500 kilos. You get the cloth seats. Again, you know, it has its pluses and minuses. Things, a bit of chocolate sticks into it a little bit harder, but then again, they're nice and cool, and you know, you're not so precious with it because it's the cloth seats. I find the seats comfortable for someone of my size, so I don't really feel like you're missing out by getting some of the more premium materials in the upper levels of the Ford Rangers. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.